Dag dag. Hi, my name is Mikaela and I like playing The Sims, and I started my YouTube channel a while ago to share some of the things I do in my game. I have been lately working on my save file, and it's not the first attempt, but since I changed computers, I decided to restart most of the process. I haven't shared everything because I started filming most things just later. But today we are working on Oakstead, I think is the name of the lot. It's this really huge lot next to the Spencer Kim Lewis family, and I actually was thinking of renovating it. But as you can probably see, there is not much left of the original build. So I would say it's maybe probably not a renovation, more like a rebuild. So I was gonna use some of the buildings that existed on the lot, but I got inspired by a mansion, and what actually made me want to build this was the backyard, or this well, I made it like a barbecue area. Maybe you could even call it an outside kitchen. You could definitely add a stove and things there if you wanted to. I just made it a barbecue area. So this lot is really big, and it took me so long to finish it. I'm also one of those people who can't just sit and build through an entire build. I maybe build for 1 hour and then I need to take a break and do something else. Like doing the dishes or something and coming back, because otherwise I feel like my mind will be clogged. A lot of the time when to this, I haven't built a lot with platforms. For me, they have been kind of hard to work around, but this build definitely needed platforms. And it's not that I really don't like with building with platforms, it's just that I haven't really been doing it a lot, even if they have been in the game for a while. So lots of my time went to playing around with the platforms. I also cut out some parts where I was doing something with the platforms, because it just didn't work the way I wanted it to work. But anyhow, I decided to split this build into 2 videos. So we're gonna do most of the exterior. I think I also included the floor planning in this build, or in this part, to give it a little bit of, or not to not make the videos too long. But yeah, definitely I would say the highlight of this build will be the backyard. I really love this barbecue area and the pool there. I'm not so sure if the other part works, but I was satisfied with it. So well, I hope you will like it when we come more to an end. I also had in mind a little bit what kind of family I would put in here. And I actually am thinking, or actually made already a family. It's the grandparents and their teenage granddaughter, and they are obviously quite wealthy. You have to be this house. I think it ended up costing, fully furnished, around 600,000 simoleons. So definitely a really pricey one. And considering it being such a huge lot, I actually think it was the size of the house is well good. I mean, you definitely have a lot of space, and you could definitely change up things. I added a couple of sitting rooms. I did like a whole side, I mean, I don't know if you should call it a side wing, but a whole one of the wings or the sides of the building is basically for just parties. I wanted to keep it still. I mean, I wanted to give it this traditional like Willow Creek look, and I think I did it with windows. I was playing around with the windows quite a lot. I cut a lot of it out as well because, like I said, it took me forever to get the house, the shape of the house, the floor plans, the windows, the doors, and I ended up going with these because I thought they would give still this quite nice feel of Willow Creek. I mean, I know we have next doors the Spencer Kim Lewis house, and it was quite modern in the original, or how it was built in the game, or modern and modern, but not in the more traditional way. And I decided to keep it also that way. And this house, I was actually thinking of if we should do a modern build. I did it in one of my older save files. But for this, I decided to go with a more traditional look. I mean, it's not really, you couldn't say it's like an antebellum house or something like this. But it has a little bit more of a traditional look than the Spencer Kim Lewis house has. I was using so much time to do something with the roofing. It took me so long to get it to look nice. I honestly hate doing roofing because quite often the corners glitch with each other, or there is some weird things happening. So yeah, not always a happy camper when doing the roofing. But I think it got made quite nicely. I think it's more or less done. I added this here. You could definitely do it to a balcony. I decided not to do it to a balcony, and here we actually start doing a little bit of floor plan. One of the first things I do always when building is placing the stairs. And since this is kind of a grand house, the family is very wealthy, I decided that we want like a really big and luscious staircase and entrance room here. I always, when I have these kind of round corners, or I don't know what you would call it, like a nook, I like to put the dining room here for some reason. Don't know why, but I think it's cute. And then we have the kitchen, and I actually, because the kitchen is quite big already, but we have all this extra space, I decided to actually make them like a walk-in pantry, or butler's pantry, I think it's called. Absolutely not necessary, but I mean, we have the space. It was kind of cool, a cool idea, I thought, to make this, because I mean, this is clearly the most expensive house in Willow Creek. Really privileged family, and so yeah. So working here on the floor plan for the kitchen, I was not sure how to do it because it has like this L shape and where to put the doors and so on. But I actually thought it ended up looking quite good like this. So you definitely have a lot of counter space there for your Sims to cook and so on. I just placed some items here to more or less have an idea what the kitchen will look like when it's done. These are not the cabinets and that I will use. And here I decided to, because the back of the house was completely like one straight wall, I wanted to add something to it, so I will do like a sunroom here. And this is what I do quite often, that I leave some things for later when I'm doing the exterior, for example, when I'm doing the floor planning, because then I will know a little bit more what do we need actually to have and so on. So I added this small sunroom here, and then I decided to not have the flat wall. I will do these similar windows, window balconies, whatever you want to call them, on the backyard or on the backside of the build, and of course the same with the entryway to the backyard as well. So yeah, to give it a little bit more of a nice feel, I used a lot of half walls in this build, and I did this combination of like a half wall and a fence on some of the balconies, and I liked very much the way it looked. And to make this corner here a little bit more easy, accessible maybe, for the floor plan, I actually made it bigger. I added one more round room. I actually was thinking of making a second sunroom, but I thought no, that's way too much. And for some reason this roof didn't really fit the way I wanted on this. And I was struggling a little bit with that. But that's actually going to be like a party dining room. The round one you saw there. So just doing some final touches with the windows and doors here. I decided to make the windows higher up, and main reason being that I actually, in this way, the rounded part wasn't so visible on all the walls where we had roofing. I saw some really nice mansion. I mean, I did a lot of Pinteresting or checking Pinterest for ideas to make this build, and I saw quite many mansions that had like a cool fountain in the entrance of the build, so I was trying to do something like that. My idea, however, to use the platforms didn't really work the way I wanted to. So there were some small changes, and I think I will change the fountain again later on. But I added a fountain or a foundation, it's called, on the or like a foundation porch to the house. This part is what I'm not really sure if I like. How it turned out on the backyard, but sometimes it is what it is. And I don't remember if I made it larger. Yeah, I did, and then I left the pool like in the middle there. And that's what I'm not sure if I'm really satisfied with. I go back to doing the floor plan. I add like a small bathroom here. I'm sorry for the camera going back and forth so much. But that's how I do when I'm thinking that I will not share something I'm building. So just doing like a little bit of floor planning, trying to add some bathrooms here, and trying to think what I will put in each room. I decided to use archways in most of the rooms, and I thought because it's quite nice with the openness. There's only a few rooms with real doors. Like downstairs you saw for the sunroom, and the room I made for like dinner parties, and so I made them with a closed and open door. But it's like this big door with windows from Get Famous. Upstairs, I mean, the staircase took quite a big chunk of the upstairs room, and well, I wouldn't say I was a little bit annoyed because I wanted to do like really big rooms with like walk-in closets. But in the end, there won't be that big bedrooms, because I also thought it would be silly to have this big house with only like 2 bedrooms. So the floor plan is a little bit strange, to say the least. but I added quite many smaller bedrooms here, which is fine. I mean, they are only, in my save file, there are only gonna be 3 Sims living here. I mean, if you decided that you want to download this house and play with it. By the way, my builds you can find all on the on the gallery. Just look for my name, Mikaela V, and you have it there. So I mean, you could definitely do changes to the interior if you wished, but I thought in the end it was quite nice. I mean, even if you had a family of more than 3 Sims, you could absolutely fit them in the bedrooms. I mean, there is 3 really big bedrooms, there is 2 smaller bedrooms. I fit in the smaller bedrooms also big double beds. I mean, I don't think it's still working, the scooting from one side to another. But I mean, you could just put single beds if you wanted to in these rooms, and in that way you would have a little bit more space. If you also would want to move like a family with kids here, you could just easily use one of the rooms I put extra sitting areas in as a playroom for the kids, maybe add all their toys and so on. But like I said, my family I'm putting here is just gonna be 3 Sims, so I think it is quite fine the way it is. I'm coming here to the stairs and the outside area. I decided I wanted to put some kind of fence here. Actually, yeah, well, I was thinking it was kind of low, that it was quite easy to fall over. But I can see I'm fixing it with a higher half wall. Sometimes with the platforms, the half walls, the size is a little bit strange. But yeah, I noticed that, so that's why I changed it. I didn't want to put railings on the stairs because I thought it would be silly. Looking, because you can't have the solid half wall railings for the stairs, and it's only a couple of stairs or a couple of steps. I was having a little bit of a hard time deciding on what color to do the house. I don't remember if I left it or if I actually just deleted the part when I was doing it, but we'll see. I didn't really like the half wall here, and I was trying to put a fence, but none of them really fit the vibe I was going for. So in the end I decided to do this like I did on some of the balconies on the house, that I made a mix of half walls and fences. Yeah, here we go with the colors. Yeah, you can see I'm trying like multiple different ones. I think this is the wallpaper I decided going with. I know it's like really plain white, and then I use for like the columns and some of the half walls, the brick that came from oh god, what is it called? I'm thinking cottage living it's called. And then it's really plain. I don't know if it's like a brick-ish wallpaper, but yeah, the house is very, very white. And I don't know, I was thinking of changing it up, but in the end I just decided to go with the all white house. I also realized now when we are filming that I forgot to put like a roof trim on, but you will see that that's fixed in the screenshots in the end of the video. So I will add some roof trimmings to make the house look a little bit more finished. There was a couple of other mistakes as well when I was editing this video that I noticed. I think I'm gonna show you the furnishing of the kitchen, like basics. I didn't film how I added clutter because I did that later. And I sped it up a little bit more to make the video a little bit not not too long. I mean, nobody wants to be watching for too long. So I sped it up a little bit. I thought it was fine. I know that my boyfriend, he gets what is it, Corsic? I mean, do you call it Corsic even if it's a game? When I'm playing The Sims, because he says I'm moving the camera too much. So please let me know if you feel that way too, and I will try to slow down, or at least when I'm doing the videos, try to not speed the video up too much. But that's definitely something I'm very well aware of. I do like back and forth, turning the camera back and forth, which is a little bit annoying. So this is the basically kitchen. I didn't really know what flooring to put on. I felt like I wanted it to be a white, but none of the whites really worked the way I wanted to. And you will see I decide on, I think, a black tile in the end, and then I still after a while try to do it again. So I was thinking of doing this like a checker type of flooring, but I didn't like how it looked with the kitchen. So here I think I'm experimenting with the other colors a little bit, and decide to go with one of these black tiles, and I end up actually switching it up to like a grey one, like a basic concrete one, I think. But yeah, the color scheme, I had a little bit of a hard time with it, to be honest. But yeah, I tried a couple of different. I wanted to put this kit table, but then I thought it didn't look really fancy enough for this build, so I switched it up to like normal dining table, and I thought this was kind of nice. I did a couple of sitting areas. I did this fire pit one on this side, and I think I do like a sofa, yeah, on the other side with the table from City Living, which has like a fire on it. And yeah, here it's when I decide that this doesn't work. It looks weird with the black flooring, so I'm trying to see if I could do like a checker again, but I don't like that idea. I still tried, but it's not working. In the end, I think I decide to go with like a gray one, like a basic concrete one, because I mean this just doesn't work for the outside area in my mind. So yeah, I do this really basic concrete. I don't know if it's called the sidewalk slabs, or this one that is, I don't think it's even meant for this. It's more like for sidewalks, but I thought it worked quite okay with this build. Then I will go and add, I think, lights here in the pool. I did also a little design on the floor, or on the flooring of the pool, and yeah, I don't remember if I already changed the color of the tiles in the pool, or if I was gonna do that. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it. I switch it up for like a darker one. I was going through like the spa days to see if maybe spa day had some nice ones, but in the end I end up going with like the base game tiles. And then I wanted to use these Get Famous like pool tile, or I don't know, pool floor decorations, or whatever you want to call them. So to give like a small design to the pool, I mean, I don't know if it's necessary. I was actually considering not to do it, because I mean, I always think they look a little bit weird, but then again, I thought this family is really wealthy, they probably would have something like this. I really wanted to do like Balinese sunbeds, and I thought these actually look quite much when you take these ones from Home Decorator. They look quite much like the really nice Balinese beds you can get in like fancy beach clubs or hotels. So I actually just decided to use those. I thought it looked quite nice. was actually thinking if I needed to add something on that other side of the wall, but I decided to leave it empty. I mean, not to add too many things. And I saw on one of my inspirational pictures I looked up, they had this kind of cool, I don't know what to call, garden on like the side of the house. And I'm really horrible with the terrain tools, and I don't think my idea would have maybe worked with the terrain tools, so I actually decided to use, I don't remember if I used the foundation tool, and then I think I used the platform tool to make it like 2 stories. And then I will use like the flooring that looks like grass to make it. And then I disguise basically the foundation with this hedge. And I do it all around the foundation. I also raise them up to make it higher here, so you don't actually see that it is a foundation I built it on. And I mean, if you can still see it from the inside, but what I did was I actually did half walls as well in the same style as we have on the barbecue platform. And just looking for the correct height here to do it. You can see here the only way where it actually leaves a little bit is the stairs, because the stairs are partly behind the hedge as well, but that didn't really bother me that much. So yeah, this is what I made here, and then I think I added some things from, oh yeah, I do one more layer of hedges here to make it look like it's taller than the actual half wall. But then after I'm done with these hedges, I add some decorational objects from the my romantic garden stuff. And I did this. I wanted to add a small fountain, but it didn't. It looks like it was floating, so I decided to actually add this half wall here. And it looked quite nice, I think, here. Just raising it so it looks more like it doesn't clip so much. I was thinking of adding another fountain, but that was maybe too much. And then I realized that it's not even in the middle, so we do a small move here to move this decorational object here into the middle of this, I don't know what you would call it, the garden that is on different levels here. And then I will add a couple of benches, and I will do also some flower beds here in this area as well. So I was thinking, trying to find the easy way out and put like really big bushes here. That didn't work, so I did like divide the areas to flower beds, and then I decided to do like a mix of some of the flowers we have. So I put some of these really low ones to add it like a little bit more texture, so to say. And then I did these flowers from my romantic garden stuff. I really love them. And then I think I did like a really basic bush here as well to give it a little bit more height. I surrounded the back area with like bushes to make it like more closed in. It was kind of annoying because this tree I like the best. If I sized it up, it would come through the wall, so it looks a little bit strange, but it was fine. Then I was gonna add this like small platform or foundation area here, and yes, I realized that the stairs are not equal. I don't know how I did the whole build without seeing that. I mean, I fix it before I take the screenshots for you, so you will see that it's actually equal. It was just when I was editing this video when I looked and saw that how is it possible that I didn't notice during the whole time I was doing this. I mean, it ends up being like a gardening area. I was first thinking of doing like a sitting area here, but then there is so many sitting areas in this house. I mean, both inside and outside. And I mean, the Sims that live here, they are maybe not like the gardening type. But then I was thinking, like, I mean, when you are as wealthy as they are, they probably really like to eat well. So maybe they would at least have some herbs or something that the butler takes care of. So as you see, I was thinking of putting a bar as well here when the sitting area didn't really work. I think I'm here still trying to make it like a sitting area. I was thinking of having it like as a afternoon tea area, but I mean, they have a tea area inside already. They have the barbecue area. They have 2 dining rooms. They have 2 or 3 sitting rooms. So I really don't think it's necessary. I think the idea sparked from here. I tried to put this new planter here, but it didn't really fit because the area has 1 tile too much, or more than it is. So then I decided to use actually these planters here, and I know the corner ones are not possible to use because they are too many, or they are crossing, but I mean, you have plenty of space to plant things. And you will see in the screenshot, because it bothered me that the planters are not high enough to go all the way to the top of the roof thingy. I actually add these wall decorations from Eco Lifestyle. So it looks a little bit different in the screenshot that it does actually now. And then to top it off, I did more or less the same flower beds as in the other part of the backyard, to give it the similar look here. And I think after this, we will move back to we will move to the front of the house, because the back, oh no, yeah, I do this because I felt like the walls were a little bit bare, so I decided to actually add these flowers here that came with Jungle Adventure. I don't use them a lot because I think they look strange, but in this part of, or I don't know, in this house I felt like they were actually quite good. They worked really nice because I had these like 1 or 2 tile wide spaces here where I could put it, and yes, it looks strange to coming up directly from the floor, so I did again add like a flower beds here, and I did add this floor tile that looks like dirt, and I'm just trying to look what to add to make it a little bit more realistic. So I did add this green thing, grass like thing on the bottom, and then a few bushes, so it maybe looked a little bit more that these wallflowers were sprouting from the bush. So we're working here on the front yard. I actually end up changing, I believe, the fountain here. I think I do it like as a plus sign, and one of the reasons I really don't like this lot is this weird driveway that is made of the red tile. I really don't like it because I don't want to put red tile on my build. So I actually used this terrain paint, and I think it looked quite fine, or it didn't at least bother me as many of the tiles, because they clash a little bit. And I decided to put some trees. Of course, I put some oak trees, like on the back. I think we had 1 oak as well, because the lot, or the name of the lot is called Oakstead. And just adding some plant, or like these flowers to the fountain. I added some ducks because obviously this family would have ducks, in my opinion. And then I did some quite simple like landscaping here. I mean, what you see now, I think I will delete some of it because it it was too much. And what I looked up on like mansions, pictures mansions in Pinterest, they were quite simple actually. The landscaping always on them. So I tried to do and mimic that a little bit more. I was thinking of putting these funky trees, but no, I just ended up using these. I don't know if you call them even bushes or if it's just trees. And then I just made the grass a little bit greener in this area. And that's what I actually ended up doing on both sides of the entrance. I thought it was quite fine. And it added a little bit extra. I did trees, and then yeah, I added trim for the entrance or the driveway, walkway, whatever you want to call it here. And yeah, that's it. I spoke way too much this time. I didn't stop before we started with the screenshots, but I want to say thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this. Please leave a comment if you have wishes on what to see next, or comments on the builds, whatever you wish. And like I said, thank you for watching, and until next time, have a wonderful day.